sector enterprises. So I will not speak less than 1 hour. So I think you all are terrorized by the statement. Nevertheless, I am the patriarch of public sector enterprises in India. The very senior civil servant sitting over here, Mr. Srivastava, Mr. Kumar, my colleagues in the public sector enterprises and CEO, Mr. Rao, Mr. Patil, Mr. Jan, and Madam Neeru as well, one of the few women representatives of the board of public sector enterprises, distinguished invitees, captains of public sector industries, my colleagues from school, friends of media, if any. I also consider him as the media now. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I compliment the organizers for having selected public sector enterprises for this very important program. And I am very happy that in the last 3-4 years, a large many of such events are taking place, and that shows the popularity of public sector enterprises in India as such. I also compliment both the Joint Secretary for having very good words for public sector enterprises, and particularly Mr. Srivastava for understanding that working in public sector enterprises has become more difficult these days. Hope he will realize the reason and do something as the owner of the public sector enterprises in his ministry. Even though his entire DNA we know in public sector because of his past association with public sector enterprises and also presently with foreigners. Also, I would like to quote yesterday a similar event where Mr. Ram Vilas Paswan, the food minister, compared the politicians and bureaucrats. He was speaking in Hindi as usual. Politician लोगों को दिमाग नहीं होता है, लेकिन विल होता है. ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को बहुत दिमाग होता है, लेकिन विल नहीं होता है. I say that public sector enterprises have both will and demand. So from here I start. The over 6 decades of the public sector enterprises, you are knowing, has seen 3 distinct phases. The first was soon after independence and in line with the premises led by the Constitution of India of a mixed economy. The public sector enterprises were born in 50s with the meager investment of 291 crore at that time when ITI, Fertilizer Corporation of India and all that came. The condition of the country was there was no industry, no infrastructure, there was complete financial resource crunch, but we had very cheap labor available and the entire economy was based on agrarian side. That was the condition, and it was realized that no, public sector had to come, and very good words and ornamental words like commanding heights or temples of India, all there became synonyms with public sector enterprises. But another negative part was that in the name of social factor, 24 lakhs of people were employed in public sector enterprises, and they were also asked to take over some of the seeking needs as a liability by the public sector. The result was that public sector enterprises became synonymous with letharginess, ineffectiveness, and all that criticism which you heard earlier, and now they are still pouring in. But we are immunized people. We hear the criticism, only analyze it, and take care of something which are very healthy criticism, which I will touch very soon now. The second phase of public sector enterprises started with liberalization and open policy of the government of India in 1991 and post-period. When public sector started facing challenges, earlier profit was not considered as a good word. Now came 1991, we started knowing that yes, public sector had to earn profit. And you will be surprised to know that during 10 years 10 years' time, within 10 years' time, our profit increased by 35 times if you compare the pre-91, post-91. Turnover 9 times. But unfortunately, profit became the only intention of not only public sector, but all the corporates. And that gave an intention, an inclination to reflect larger profit by way of inflating the profit numbers by way of jugglery of financing accounting system, and also concealing the liabilities. But the result was relatively a big tranquility, which gave rise to a number of frauds which you are all aware. That was the phase in 1991. But came this third phase with the advent of the 21st century, that corporates and public sector particularly realized that no, there is something doing business within a business and beyond business. They realize that business is not doing business alone, but business is doing something beyond. They realize that community relation, corporate social responsibility holds the key, and it is the most enduring, paramount, intangible asset for the public sectors. And that became some sort of a strategy for survival on a sustainable basis for a long time. It was also realized that if you do not have a sustainability by way of a community relation, then you are gradually going to become extinct like dinosaur as such. But I'm very happy that public sector enterprise have realized. The second thing which I must touch, which is a world over scenario now, that the continuous pressure in 21st century on 3-4 aspects of enterprises and the corporate sector. They are the governance, deliverability, the board structure, capacity building, and corporate social responsibility as such. I want to also say that more than 6 decades of public sector enterprises that are existing. If you ask where is a documented ownership policy, you will not find it. You know that owner as a government keeps certain portfolio with them, and which is rightly so, like total outcome, the socio-economic sides, the investment proposals, appointment of the board level positions and functional directors and independent directors, of course, then joint ventures, mergers, acquisitions, dividend policy, etc., etc. But we are yet to see a well-documented ownership policy. If there is no such policy, how you are going to evaluate the accountability of the owner, which has become very important. Similarly, in the case of the board structure today, you have to evaluate the accountability of the board also, because board plays the central role between owner on one side and the management on the other side. On one side, the owner should not transgress into the board decision on day-to-day basis. On the other side, the board has to evolve a vision, a strategy and implementation part, and leave it to management for execution, and it should monitor it. So therefore, there is a need to monitor it, and their evaluation is on the basis of that. So accountability for both owner and the board has become very important, and there is continuous sustained pressure all over the world on the corporate sector for better governance, better deliverability, and better professionalism. Now let us see how public sector boards are structured today. All of you know that there are 3 layers of it. It is some sort of a very complex coalition of 3 partners. The functional directors, the government nominee directors, and independent directors. This coalition is not better than the coalition governments of the time. The functional directors have certain limitations because they come from within the organization, mostly from technical department, from the position of general manager or executive directors. They consider themselves that they have the last word on technical side and forget that the role of director is not only the technical part, but it relates to vision, strategy and implementation. So they are not heading a department as earlier, but now they are heading an organization as such. So therefore there is a need of capacity building in them so that they are trained necessarily, mandatorily before they resume charge as director of the functional part. Similar is the second layer, our very effective, efficient bureaucrats are sitting over here. They are very intellectual group of people occupying a very big position of privilege, but they are gagged with their enterprise. They do not know what is happening within the company. They come in the board meeting and finally see a joint secretary when the proposal goes to ministry for administrative things and all that. So it also requires that they should be subject to similar training before they become the nominee director from the government owner side. But unfortunately, they are on the frequent transfer lists. By the time they are trained, they will be in different department, heading other department, and all that. Independent directors, I don't want to be very critical, but you know the situation. They come to the administrative ministry at the mercy of administrative ministerial minister in charge. So if we say that they are dependable independent directors, it will not be exaggeration. And as per SEBI regulations, 50% of the strength is independent directors plus 2 government nominee directors. Then we can visualize the position of the entire board and the chairman in a company enterprise. So all the times, the majority is in the hands of independent directors and government nominee directors. You are intelligent people, you understand the thing, you have seen the board meetings and all that. Therefore, independent directors who come as a watchdog sort of thing, to sit on the fence, see that the board meetings are as per ethical considerations, without any biasness, and therefore they also need a very good thorough training before they run the board position in respective of the enterprise. On governance side, I say that after all what the owner requires that the public sector should pursue the agenda of socio-economic development. They should be ethical. They should be also profit-giving and dividend-paying companies because they are the owner. They are concerned with the commercial values of the enterprise, and leave it to the board that yes, to achieve this objective. But fortunately, the MOU system was introduced in public enterprises in late 90s. And as of now, more than 220 public sector enterprises have already signed have been signing MOU where a target is fixed. Target is fixed, but it has become some sort of program because public sectors are traditionally more prone to compliance and conformance than performance. And we provide some sort of a sense that we have to meet the target set under the MOU. So this requires to be reviewed as to whether we need to improve the system or not. I'm sorry. We are 277 in public sector, and I'm proud to be public sector because you can't have any entity in the entire corporate world in India which is better than public sector research. The present investment in public sector is 8,51,000 crores. Now on this, a turnover is almost 20 lakhs crores, 19.46 lakhs crore is the turnover. Public sectors are contributing almost 1,16,000 crores as a net profit every year. And they are paying taxes duty to the extent of 1,63,000 crores every year to the government of India Exchequer, which is almost 22% of the revenue collected by the government. Their net worth 6,81,000 crores, and they earn a foreign exchange of 1,38,000 crores. Now, this is the position of public sector enterprises, and the confidence of investors is such that when it comes to this investment, you have seen the confidence of investors, Coal India Limited, NTPC. So, sale is going. I am confident that they will fetch in first 1-2 days the entire 5% is oversubscribed. This is the confidence of the public sector. As of now, 46 public sector enterprises have been listed out of the 950 or total listed. And this 46, hardly 5% of the total listed company have a market capitalization of 23% as of yesterday. This is the market capitalization, and that's why the confidence of the investors in public sector. In Forbes list, there are 54 Indian companies. Out of that, 30 are public sector enterprises and public sector banks. This is their position. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because so I don't. Because I am a public sector man. One thing I will definitely tell that now the time has come when the public sector enterprises have to build up better relation with community side. Community development has become the real strategy today for the growth of enterprise on sustained basis, as I told. And this can be only possible when we assess the demand of the people who are particularly in the rural area of India. And then you will have such an image that yes, this company has its own brand, its own image, its own culture, who cares for the community. And that will be your lasting relation with them, and you will change the entire concept. Now coming to worldwide trend, I will take 2 minutes more, sir. Worldwide trend now. What has happened after recession? That there is everywhere consolidation of sovereign holding on public sector enterprises, state-owned enterprises, they tell. Unfortunately, we are more for dilution of the state holding by way of the investment, which is not the only panacea for meeting the fiscal deficit and all that. There are other ways. You improve the professionalization, you improve the productivity, you improve the governance, you improve the deliverability. You will see that the economy itself in turn grows like anything. So worldwide they are going to create, and most of the countries like Norway, Sweden, Malaysia, China, Vietnam, even UK and France, and to some extent in America also, which have been private sector monopoly and all that. They are consolidating the holding of public sector enterprises by way of a sovereign structure. They have created sovereign holding company and sovereign wealth fund, SWF. Sovereign wealth fund to protect the state-owned enterprises, the public sector enterprises, and sovereign structure, which is the prime body of about a dozen of board members headed by a chairman who only reports to the prime minister of the country or the country head as such. This type of, and they are either minimizing or completely relinquishing the control of the administrative ministry as such. This is a requirement of a structural change in this country also, that let there be a holding company who looks after the different public enterprises and leave it to their respective board to come out and meet the targets set by the sovereign holding company as well. This is the requirement for the country today. Thank you very much. You have tolerated me. Thanks a lot.